This is a conversation that requires nuance, a close look at the facts, and an understanding of the broader context. So, where do these claims come from? The core of the allegation is that the mayor's office, under Sadiq Khan's leadership, has not been transparent or proactive enough in addressing the issue of grooming gangs, with some critics suggesting a deliberate cover-up to avoid political fallout. These accusations often gain traction during election cycles and are fueled by reports and testimonies that highlight harrowing cases of exploitation. To understand the situation, we need to look at the official responses and actions taken. The Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime, or MOPAC, has stated its commitment to tackling all forms of exploitation. They point to various initiatives and funding allocated to support victims and bring perpetrators to justice. For example, they've invested in specialist police units and support services aimed at helping vulnerable young people. The official position is that they are actively working to combat this issue, not hide it. However, critics argue that these measures are insufficient. They often point to the scale of the problem and question whether the political will truly matches the rhetoric. Some reports from independent bodies and charities have highlighted systemic failures in identifying and protecting victims, which fuels the narrative that not enough is being done. These critics believe that the focus has been more on managing public perception rather than tackling the root causes and bringing all perpetrators to justice, regardless of their background. It's also important to consider the political dimension. Accusations of a cover-up are powerful and often used by political opponents to challenge the incumbent's record on law and order. Sadiq Khan's supporters would argue that these are politically motivated attacks designed to create division and fear. They would say that blaming one individual for a complex, deep-rooted societal problem is an oversimplification. They argue that this issue predates his mayoralty and requires a multi-agency approach involving not just the mayor's office, but also local councils, schools, social services, and the police across the country. When we look at the data, the picture becomes even more complex. Official statistics on these crimes are difficult to interpret. Definitions can vary, and underreporting is a significant issue, as victims are often afraid or unable to come forward. This makes it challenging to get a clear, undisputed measure of whether the problem is getting better or worse under any specific administration. Both sides can often use the available data to support their own arguments. So, what can we conclude? The term cover-up implies a deliberate and conscious effort to hide the truth. While there are legitimate and serious criticisms about the effectiveness and speed of the response to grooming gangs in London, proving a deliberate cover-up is incredibly difficult. What is clear is that there's a significant gap between the actions taken by authorities and the expectations of a public that is rightly horrified by these crimes. The debate is less about whether a problem exists, everyone agrees it doesn't, more about the adequacy and transparency of the response. This is a conversation that must continue, with a focus on protecting victims and ensuring justice is served. It requires us to move beyond political point scoring and demand effective, transparent action from all our leaders. Thank you so much for watching and for engaging with such a difficult topic. If you found this breakdown helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more in-depth discussions. See you next time.